You don't have to look far to be able to tell that there's a ton of different types of sawhorses and small workbenches that are out there that people have come up with over the years, and those that are being professionally manufactured. One of the ones that has been near and dear to me over the years has been this type of bench. This is one that I made about literally 30 years ago. You could tell it's been through the war. I don't worry about now when I get overspray on it. It's from some old pine one-by that came out of an old pantry in our first home, and it served me well over the years. It's the right height, the right depth and everything for the things that I like doing and the way I like working. This is my original bench that I made. I honestly believe I was in high school or beginning of college when I made this, and it too has served me well over the years. But what I wanted to do is come up with a design that could be used by my son, who has limited space in his shop and also has need to move things around. And these types of benches, which are about 28 by 13 on their top surface, are bulky and difficult to transport and take up a lot of space in your shop when you're not using them. So I wanted to come up with something that would store a little easier, and this was my solution to it. The goal was to have something that took up less space when it was being stored, but was also easy to set up and break down, and didn't weigh a ton, although these are a little heavy, and I'll talk about some ways that I think I could have and will in the future potentially reduce the weight a little bit, but they're not crazy in terms of the weight. The nice thing about these is they store with, this is the top portion, and this is the frame, and you'll notice that this sits up high. If this one were broken down, they nest nicely together, and they take up, I figure, about a third of the space that they would if they were permanently put together. So they come apart with this little turn knob. Then the top comes off. When I remove, I have this portion here that fits in the opening, the handhold, and has two pieces, so this piece will tighten down. This is a nice piece of maple, and it tightens down and holds it snugly. To put the bench together, it's very simply take and hinge it out, and the bottom drops in place. You can see on the side where I have two pieces of plywood here, and you can see the hinges that are in the inside. In the bottom, to be able to keep it, and obviously if I were just working with this and not filming, it would be a lot easier, but I have these little catches that come and hold the bench together. That way I don't have to worry about the sides flaring out. The top of the bench has portions in it, slots in it that will accept the tops of the bench. And you'll notice that there's some clips here that are going to work with these other latches on top. So by doing that, this is in place. It holds up well, but what I didn't want to have happen is over time, if they loosen up and you go and you catch it and you go and grab it from the top here to move it around, I didn't want it falling apart. So these catches in the inside here fit over these other hooks. They're perfectly centered so that you didn't have to worry about the configuration. If the lid always had to go in a certain way, you could flip this end for end and it would still fit fine. So here's my solution to a portable bench that takes up less space in the shop. It is a little more involved to make by putting the hardware and the hinges on. If I wanted to cut down on the weight, instead of using 3/4 ply, I probably could have gotten away with 1/2 inch ply on the top here, especially with the 2 1/4 inch, 3/4 material going around the perimeter. And potentially also in the back, this portion here, I could have cut out some of the material in the middle, leaving enough to give it that strength so it doesn't rack, but taking away a little of the weight. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope it makes you think about the types of benches you use and some options that exist that fit into your needs as a woodworker or as a home remodeler.